Well, the Air Force beings in Melbourne thought that we were doing it, wasting too much time, and they invented an automatic latch so that you could have a drogue out and it could be out, say, 800 to 1,000 feet behind, and you launched another drogue which flew down the cable on a ring. And the ring, when it got to this unlatching device, would unlatch the drogue that was on, let it fall away, and the new drogue would open. And that would save time. And they brought this up, and I was called into the flight commander's office, and he said, "Smithy, you've got a job to do." I said, "What's that?" He said, "They're testing a new release arrangement for the drogues." And he said, "I want you to fly it for them." He said, "They've designated 500 feet over the paddock, you see." I said to him, "Sir, that's a bit low." He said, "What do you reckon?" I said, "Well, the drogue flies usually 200 to 300 feet below the aeroplane with the weight of cable." And I said, I would prefer to fly it at 1,000 feet. He said, "All right, you can do it at 800. He split the difference. So I came around, and all the top brass wing commanders and Lord knows what group captains were standing in the paddock watching, and I came round and I had the drogue stream and it was all set, and I was flying at 800 feet and the drogue was around about 250 feet below, and came the time to launch the new drogue. We threw it out through the hatch and it whistled back along the cable, came to the latch, and it didn't stream, and it locked there, and it collapsed the drogue that was hanging, and the whole lot fell into the paddock, and it hooked into a fence. And I look back to this day, I can still see it. I look back down the side of the battle, and the fence was being torn out of the ground. It was an old farm fence. It was being torn out of the ground, and all the Air Force officers were running for their lives. And I just yelled out to the drogue operator to cut the cable, because we carried big cutters in the aeroplane for that purpose, and he just cut the cable. And if it had been any other aeroplane than our Fairey Battle, it probably would have stalled, but it didn't. And we got away with it. But it was a sight I will never forget. So they decided that they wouldn't use that automatic system. It really didn't save that much time. We went back to the normal thing.